Good morning. Bloody good morning, thank you, welcome everything. For watching today on Someday Chat.
Sunday Chat!
That's Someday Chat because it's Saturday. Could be any day. Yes.
But it is Saturday.
It is Saturday.
But you're watching this on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is why it's Sunday Chat!
I'm just so not in the mood today. You know, some days when you're just not in the mood at all to do anything, let alone record a video. I'm not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood. You know, some days you're just a bit flat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And actually,
I've
been flat quite a bit recently. Yeah, I have. I think it's because of the situation, the global situation that we find ourselves in, and the repeated confusion.
Yeah, lack of clarity.
And lack of clarity from governments deciding this week that they'll do this week they'll do that, and this week everybody can do this. No, they can't. Yes, they can. It's too confusing.
What I don't understand is why I know the government needs to give some element of a schedule of what is going to happen. But at the same time as doing that, they really need to caveat quite strongly these things may not happen. These dates are not set in stone. And when they bring something in, they bring it in for either in a few hours' time at midnight, or this is going to be law from 2 weeks' time or a week's time.
Yeah, but it's not that. I mean, it's not really that. It's the ridiculous nature of the advice.
Well, yeah.
For example, this week, shielding ends. Yeah?
Yeah.
Shielding ends this week. But you can still go out to a pub. So, shielding's ending, lockdown's easing, but then lockdown's being brought back in certain areas. So the advice isn't saying if you're in those areas and shielding, you'll still need to shield. Does it say that anywhere?
I don't know, because
exactly.
I'm lost now.
Exactly. So, they're walking this fine line, aren't they, between being a, what's the word? Being in a so-called free society, which is simply not true.
Which we're not, anyway.
And a dictatorship. Oh, we mustn't appear to be a dictatorship because people won't like us and vote for us next time. That's it.
I think
that's what it's all about.
And we've got to get commerce going and the economy going. And we've got to do this and that.
Of course, naturally, because the fat cats are going to start complaining that they're not earning enough money or making enough profit to keep up my lifestyle of all the cars and all the houses and the private schools. Diddums!
I always thought profit, particularly in companies, was a really odd thing, because the markets get excited when, let's say, Marks and Spencer's, when it increases its profit has increased, 5% on last year, and they get excited about that. Nobody actually talks about the volume of profit that has been paid out to individuals and shareholders. They only talk about percentages, and this is where statistics really, really do not get explained well to us when we're being given them. And this has been shown throughout this whole COVID thing in the UK, where COVID-19, whatever. It's shown it through this whole period. Usually statisticians are on figures telling us about percentages left, right and centre. This amount of people, that percentage of the population, this percentage of this, that
and skip
percentage
to the
of that.
end.
And this year, it's just been about numbers. And actually, without anything to back up those numbers are pretty meaningless apart from being top-line figures.
They're all meaningless to me, to be absolutely frank with you. The minute you start saying statistics and percentage, I go into a coma.
You see, I did stats AO level.
I barely did maths.
I loved maths.
Oh God, no. I've never ever been good with maths. Never. My parents were mystified by it when I was a child. Yeah, because I used to cry. I used to cry over my maths homework because I just didn't get it. My brain is not geared up to maths. It just isn't. I have to have a calculator for everything. I can do the sums that add up to
5.
No.
4.
No.
1.
No. Don't be so rude. I can do the sums that kind of add up to 20. Anything beyond that, I just think, I don't know what that means.
What's 8 times 2 plus 4?
8 times 2, 2 8s are 16. That's 20.
20! He can! He can do that!
But times tables and things like that.
What's 9 times 3 plus 16?
3 nines. 3 nines. What are 2 nines? 3 nines are 27. Plus what?
16.
Oh God, no. God, no, Paul. Do you think I'm some kind of genius? God. Hold on, let me try it. So 27 plus 16.
Yeah.
So add 10, that's 37.
Yeah.
And I have to do the rest on my fingers. 37, what is it? 6?
6.
37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43.
Yay! See, you can do more than 20.
But I have to use my fingers.
Well, that's okay.
Or I have to do dots in my head. Like dice. I see them like dice.
Do you?
Yeah. So if I can't add up and I can't use my fingers for some reason, like my fingers are doing something else, then I use dots.
Finger bobbing.
But I have to use one finger or some kind of pointing device.
I do tap with my pen sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah, that's sort of like
That's
what you're
cheating.
saying. I tap with
You're
my
meant
pen.
you're meant to be able to do it in your head.
Well, I generally can.
But of course we do have Alexa, who will add anything up for you, and she'll give some wonderful, wonderful results.
She does.
She does.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we've demonstrated that on a live show in the past. So go through all our live shows and find it.
That was quite funny. That. But if you do have an Alexa or what's the other one? Google something or
Home
or Spinny or something.
Spinny
Isn't
Spinny
Apple?
Spinny. That's Siri.
Siri.
Spinny.
Well, Spinny's much more fun than Siri.
Spinny. Hey Spinny.
Hey Spinny, what's the answer to 3 plus 6?
What? You asking me?
Yes.
I'm not Spinny. God. 3 plus 6. 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Is it 9?
There we are.
Yeah.
As quick as a snail.
I know. Quick as Alexa.
Yeah. Oh, what were we talking about?
I have
Numbers.
no idea what's going on now, ever.
I'm finding this. I've got a.
warm.
I've got a. What do you call that?
What?
That bit of sewing there. It's got a like dart or something.
Well, I don't know.
It's a little bit of sort of. It's a corner of fabric.
It's been neatly turned.
It's been really neatly turned, and I'm quite enjoying just fiddling with that. I've only found that out today. I'm quite enjoying that.
I think you should give up the allotment and just start feeling garments. Anyway.
Are you hot?
I'm warm now. It's not as warm as it was yesterday. Yesterday was a sweltering 36 degrees.
Oh yeah, it was here.
It was,
yeah.
36.
Heathrow, 37.8.
And before you all start saying, oh, that's cool where we're from, really? You know, it's not cool for the people who've got breathing difficulties in this area, okay?
No.
So, you know, don't be so selfish.
But it's not cool. We're used to much more temperate than
We are.
other
We're not
people.
used to 36 degrees. Thank goodness it was only for one day. I'm glad I don't live where you live.
Yes, yeah. I wouldn't want it to be hot like that on an ongoing
using all
basis.
that aircon and ruining the planet.
Were you talking over me then?
Yes.
Yes. I couldn't stand constant temperatures like that, or regular temperatures. Periods where it's sort of like 35 degrees for
It's disgusting.
3 or 4 weeks or something.
It's disgusting.
I wouldn't like that.
No.
Mind you, constantly cold places I wouldn't like either.
Oh, I would. God. It would mean my complexion would be steady.
And you'd have an even larger collection of scars.
Exactly. Well, I've got a large enough collection as it is. But my complexion's always better in the winter.
You're looking particularly sort of glowing today.
Not
glowing like last week when you were sunburned. You look quite slim today as well.
It's my hair. It slims me down. Plaster your hair against... Careful, I nearly killed you with a pen.
I think I look like a what's it?
Plaster your hair against your face and it takes £15 off. Doesn't work for you. So what were we talking about? Sunday chat, blah, blah,
Sunday
blah,
chat.
blah, blah.
Weather. Then we started talking about numbers.
The weather, yes. So it's cooler today, thank bloody goodness. Really. And I don't think we're going to have a heat wave this year. I don't think we are. I think we may have a few plumes of warm air being swept up from Spain, Iberia, as they call it.
What is a heat wave?
Well, a heat wave has to last for a certain length of time and get over a certain number of degrees for a certain period of time.
How many days?
4, is it?
3.
3, yeah. Nearly there, nearly right.
3 plus 1.
God.
4 minus 1. It's 3.
3, yeah, it is. Yeah. Well done. I could even get that one. It took me a few seconds.
Weather, hot, not having a heat wave.
There was a stunning sunset last night.
Oh, there was.
Stunning. Yeah. Stunning. I took pictures. They're on the Facebook page, Richard and Paul, or Planet Vegetaria. That's Planet Vegetaria, a Facebook group by Richard and Paul. That's Richard Paul since 2017. That's contractual. And they're really beautiful pictures, despite the fact that I'm still using my 12 megapixel camera. I'm still able to get good results. So I haven't bought the new camera yet.
I thought they were stunning photos.
Yeah, but I had to... The thing is, I had to process them quite heavily in Lightroom to remove some of the noise.
What, there were people shouting?
No,
in your photo?
speckledy noise.
You and Kai had a good conversation about this, didn't you? About how the fact that sort of people put, and we've discussed this before, put no filter on something.
Oh, God.
Where actually a filter would have
improved it.
Would have made the photo much better. And what people forget is that photographers, those photos that we look at, that we find stunning, those old photos, they have been processed in chemicals by photographers to bring out certain elements. So what you're doing in your software is effectively what they would do in the darkroom, isn't it?
That's a darkroom, children. It's a dark room lit with a red light.
There are other dark rooms lit with red lights. Keep away from those. When we were kids in Guernsey, there was a lady of the night that we could see her room. We could see her room, and if the red light was on,
really. Are you
available.
Sure about that?
Yeah,
she
definitely.
would have been hanged.
No,
Was it legal?
No.
Well, why did you know about it then? Why didn't you report her to the police immediately?
Well, because people get on and they do their own thing, don't they?
I've got nothing against prostitution. I think it should be legalised, and when it is, we'll open a brothel.
Yeah.
Plenty of money in prostitution.
Yeah, we've always said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful house.
Yeah.
Beautiful and clean.
Lovely
and gorgeous.
furnishings.
Lovely furnishings.
Yeah.
Preferably covered in plastic.
What, plastic? The house covered in plastic?
Yeah, just coat everything in plastic.
Oh, right, okay.
Easy clean.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway, that's for the future. Yeah. When we're looking for our 15-bedroom mansion in Wales.
I don't think so, Paul.
Oh, no, okay, we're not doing that.
Who's the one who's got to clean it? Me.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want a big house again, ever.
But I can be sowing the vegetables in the garden.
I don't want a big house. No. I want something compact and small and...
Bijou. We did see quite a nice house. Well, I mean, we didn't view it. We viewed it online, didn't we? North of Barmouth, near Portmeirion, which we both quite liked. But that guy did get back to me. It is another house at the end. It had something beyond it, and we couldn't quite work out whether it was...
Yeah, Paul, this is a private conversation for you and I. It's not to be shared with the world, with our 256,000 subscribers.
Yes. Well, that's just in Ireland, though.
That's in Ireland alone.
Astonishing.
Anyway,
next.
Let's move on. So, what have we done this week? So, we hired another zip car.
Yep.
That's Zipcar from Zipcar.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it had a few bumps, didn't it?
It did. It was knackered. It was the same car that we hired the other week.
Yeah, when we went to Vivi.
And it was knackered. I mean, it's really been... Somebody's taken it for a joyride by the looks of things. There was mud everywhere. You didn't make a note that the footwells were completely muddy as well.
Yeah, but I think the fact that the bumper had been clearly bashed in, there was a crack on the top of the bumper, there was a huge dent on the back of the tailgate, there were scuffs along the bottom, there was big rips in the plastic of the back bumper. The actual back bumper had come away from the body. You know, they're flexible, so you can push them back in. It was the panel. It was the panel of the back bumper. That is part of the back bumper. It had come away from the body, and couldn't be pushed back in.
Yeah, and blah, 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 blah. Skip to the end.
So actually, we had to do a damage report because we didn't want to be charged with the damage of that.
No.
And again, the process for doing that damage report was really easy. You just phone a number, explain what has happened. Obviously, we took photos and video before we started our rental, just to show the state of the car at the start of our rental.
Why don't you get the damage report out and we can put a copy of it below?
And then in the glove compartment is a little book which has a damage report section in it, and you put the damage in there as well.
Yeah. Anyway, we hired a zip car because we needed to get more paint for my decorating project.
So we did.
And that was fun. Lovely. Got more paint, came home, dropped the car off, finished. Lovely. An hour's rental, cheaper than a cab. So that's the third time we've done it now. Third time. We're Zip Car Club fanatics.
Well, we're using it regularly.
Anyway, so I've been decorating, Paul's been doing the allotment, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's about it, really.
That's it. Bye. What else have we been doing? Watching television? So, Paul, what have we been watching on television this week?
We've gone back to the Golden Girls.
On DVD.
We got our DVD box set of the Golden Girls out and started at series 5.
Yeah.
Because Channel 5 has only shown up to series 4, which we recorded and watched while we were having our lunch. And it's been really interesting going back to using DVD. I mean, we haven't watched a DVD quite a while.
Oh my goodness, it's so slow. It's so clunky. I mean, you hear it going like that. You can hear the machinery whirring, which we're so not used to. We're not used to that. I mean, do you remember video cassettes?
Yeah.
I mean, I was fascinated by video cassettes when I found out that when you put the video cassette in, that little door is opened by the machine and it sort of wraps the tape around the head, doesn't it?
It does.
I was fascinated by that when I first found that out.
Did you ever stick a sandwich in there?
A sandwich?
Yeah.
No, because I was like 15. We didn't have a video cassette recorder until I was in my mid-teens. My dad just would not spend the money on one. They were too expensive.
They were hundreds and hundreds.
Do you remember they were more than that? They were like 500-600 quid, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And those big ones at school, we had a huge.
Oh, that's right.
I think it was a Ferguson.
We had them on a trolley.
Yeah, with a TV.
With a TV.
That's right. They'd wheel it in and put some boring program on and make you watch it for an hour.
I always loved those programs.
They were always, I don't know, boring documentaries about something. I don't know.
They were sort of,
watch that.
they were what they called educational. That's why.
Yeah,
we
boring.
were at school watching that. Oh.
And they had those big clunky buttons.
They did, yeah.
And to work out how the timer worked, I mean, you needed a degree in maths to do that, to work out the timer. And if you went on holiday, you'd set it for like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, do you remember when that special number came in, where you could
Video
program
Plus.
you could program numbers and it would record the program that corresponded to that number.
Yeah, Video Plus. Yeah.
And that was a big technology set, wasn't it? That was something that was like, wow.
It was a boon. No, I never used Video Plus. I did it manually. But I remember when we used to, at Christmas, we used to set it to tape things.
How did we do that? How long were the tapes then?
Well, you could have the long play option.
Oh, that's right.
Do you remember where it
doubled the play?
Yeah, but the quality was compromised.
Yeah, so you'd get 6 hours out of a 3-hour tape, effectively.
That's right, Paul. Well done.
That would be double 3 hours.
Yeah. Well, there were 4-hour tapes.
Were there 4-hour tapes?
I'm sure there were.
240, yes, there will have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember those.
God. So anyway, we're Golden Girling on the DVD.
Which, when the DVD came in, and it came in with all of its menus and things, it was like, wow.
Interactive.
You know, that's like incredible. And of course, going back to using that technology now, when we've got everything literally at
streamed,
the click of a button, is just really
it's
clunky.
Clunky.
Really clunky.
But hey, we're enjoying that.
We are.
Golden Girls and Lunch is something we enjoy in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
It's like a middle of the day little, what's the word? Holiday.
Break.
Sojourn.
Though lunch wouldn't be any other part of the day really, apart from in the middle of the day, would it?
Well, not unless you're having a late lunch.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. So, what else have we watched on TV? We've made a list. We've gone back to watching the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Yes.
And for those of you who've never seen Kimmy Schmidt, the first series we really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Because it was different, it was unique. It is a series about Kimmy Schmidt and what happened to her after she was rescued from being kidnapped.
Yes.
Underground.
Well,
in a
she
bunker,
was kidnapped overground.
with a group of women. The Mole Women.
In a bunker.
And it's a comedy.
Yeah.
And it's very bright and in your face and funny and colourful, with some great characters. But I feel it's kind of declined and moved further and further and further away from the story of the Mole Women, to, you know, life in New York for Kimmy, who had been sheltered from a whole generation of stuff.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the most annoying character in the show is Kimmy.
Well, I think the only annoying character in the show
Well,
is Kimmy.
Titus annoys me, frankly.
Oh, Titus can be annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love Jane Krakowski's character,
Yeah.
Jacqueline, and her friend Mitzi.
I love Mitzi.
They
brought Mitzi back. And Mitzi's just fantastic.
She's hysterical. Love her. And this season that we've been watching, I'm not sure which season it is. Is it the latest season?
It's the latest season. I'm not sure it's 3 or 4.
It's had some good moments, but it's had a few bomb episodes that were like, that was so boring.
Really bomb episodes.
But there's been a couple of really good ones. So I find it, I don't know, inconsistent, I guess the word is. Yeah.
I think the thing is, when they moved away from understanding how Kimmy and her friends were living in this real world, having not experienced so much, it just became a bit normal. And in this series, they seem to have gone back a bit more to the bunker, the mole women, and discussing that.
But it's moved away from the concept that Kimmy was unbreakable in terms of being a positive, happy, kooky person who wouldn't let anything faze her. It's kind of moved away from that a little bit. She gets quite annoyed a lot and frustrated with things, and I don't know, she doesn't seem to have really learnt this world that she's now in.
Yeah, but would you over 6 years? Yeah, I suppose you would, significantly.
Yeah.
But there'd always be those sort of, clawbacks to what happened and things you didn't know.
Well, this series, they've kind of gone back a little bit to the Mole Women's story, which is probably why it's better than the series before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it fills an hour, whatever, 40 minutes, whatever it is. The other thing we've started as well is the new Twilight Zone. I don't know whether it's new or not, or whether we're just coming to it.
I think it's several series old and we're just coming to it.
And again, that's been hit and miss. There's been a couple of really cracking ones, but a couple of really boring ones, and ones that we switched off.
Yeah, there was one that we watched last night that I was completely engaged with it, and then it got right to the end, and I just said to Richard, what was that about?
Well, it had an unsatisfactory ending.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate it when you're not left fulfilled. I was looking for the word there, I was searching for the word. When you're not left fulfilled by the resolution, that it's not resolved properly.
No, well, you've given over your, an hour. In this case, I think it's about an hour.
You've invested.
Yeah, and in fact, it's too long. I think
they are.
Half an hour would be fine for most of these.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've invested an hour of your time, and then to get to the end of something and find it's not that interesting.
And we also went back to Drag Race Canada as well.
Yes.
Again, this is a difficult one because I still can't get used to this, panel of judges.
No.
Plus a guest judge. Them all speaking one of RuPaul's lines, divvying up the responsibility. I can't get used to it. I still don't feel as though anybody's in charge. Plus, that Jeffrey, he might be stunningly beautiful to look at, but he's a bit of a bitch.
Well, particularly came across in the last episode, I think.
I think he's quite nasty. He doesn't come across as constructive. It comes across as him slinging a bit of mud. In
fact, that's what we did say last night after watching it. We found that there's a different... Well, we found that what they were doing was actually having a go at the queens.
Yeah.
Rather than critiquing the queens. And that's a sort of quite a fine line, really.
Because if you think about it in Drag Race, for those of you who watch it, the only time that they have a pop back at the queens is if the queens get sassy with the judges. And we've all seen, we've seen RuPaul have a a go at a couple of queens over the years, but that's kind of how it should be, because you're very clearly taken to a place where you know that what RuPaul says, RuPaul means, and that's the final word. That's it. Whereas with these judges, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't fully trust what they're saying.
It's also,
and I don't fully believe what they're saying either.
It's the sort of knowing looks that go between them when they're passing the papers of who they voted for. And it's like, you don't actually need that. All you need to do is oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on, because those of you who haven't watched RuPaul's Drag Race will be totally bored.
Well, if you're watching Canada, there's another one, isn't there? Drag Race Norway or something coming up?
Don't know.
I don't know how they'll do that. Will they do that in English or in the home language? That'll be interesting.
I don't know. Probably in the native language, I would imagine. Yeah.
Mind you, so many of these people speak English anyway.
And I think it's great that drag is. I think it's great that drag is being brought to the world. I think that's great. But I think the format might tire.
I changed that format with I'd certainly changed the Canada one. I mean, I haven't seen any others. The UK one obviously had RuPaul, so it was the same format. But the Canada one, I would definitely change that format. I just feel I feel it doesn't really flow.
Well, they're scripting it according to what RuPaul says.
Well, they are, but they're not owning it themselves.
No.
That's the thing.
They're trying to, and it's not quite working.
Yeah, well, good production is about telling people this isn't working, as well as telling them what is working.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We also, kind of sticking with drag, we also tried to watch the Vivian's show.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't want to be unkind.
So don't be.
Well, I might be. I don't want to be unkind to the Vivian, because she's, earning a crust and all of that.
And doing it really well.
And drag isn't easy. And she does look stunning. But I'm afraid that she just comes across as a bit nasty. And a bit of a bitch. And
but there's a
I'm sure she
isn't
isn't.
there?
I'm sure she isn't. And I'm sure she's got a persona that she likes to put across of being a, hard, quite
bitchy
a hard,
queen.
bitchy queen. And that's fine, but it's not my cup of tea.
It's when things come across as nasty rather than bitchy that it gets me.
I'm all for a bit of bitching.
Yeah.
You know that. You know that.
Well, we started watching the series, which is on BBC Three, and we gave up
very quickly because
I'm sure many other people have really enjoyed it, but it's not for us.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Yeah, it is fine. But the queens I am watching at the moment and absolutely loving every minute of it is Katya and Trixie in their show on YouTube.
That's actually the show name.
That's the title of the show.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched, then go and watch it. It's hysterical. But the thing that really I love the most is the editing. The editing is so quick, so sharp, so funny, and so fast. Just incredible. Those editors deserve an Oscar. Or whatever the YouTube equivalent is.
And the storyboarders as well, because it starts...
The team.
The team, exactly.
It's Wow Presents
who
make it. But especially the editors, though, because they carry out the requests of the storyboarders.
Yeah, of course.
If they're not one of the same. And, it's just so good, so funny, so filthy, and just hysterical. I love those queens. I absolutely love them.
And there was a really good documentary, which I'm sure we must have mentioned, about Trixie.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. I think it was on Netflix. It may not have been. It may
really
have been
good.
on something else. I think it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it was really, really good. And do watch it, because it does. It takes you on the sort of journey of Trixie and Katya as well, which is really interesting, because it shows you how friendship weaves and turns and twists and...
Stop feeling the fabric. Just stop it, Paul. You're getting an obsession.
And it's my Linus. It's become my Linus. Yeah, it's a really good thing to watch. So do watch that. I'm sure it's on Netflix.
And also, just going back to
you like doing that, don't you?
It's I think one of the highest, or if not the highest watched show.
Is it?
One of the most, it gets the highest number of views on YouTube, I think, which is amazing.
Oh yes, that's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favourite show on YouTube. Anyway, lovely.
What about A Week at the Plot? Do you like that?
Oh,
one?
yes, Paul. That's even better.
Because that's got quite a lot of quick editing.
Yes, the editing is superb, Paul. So that's it for TV, I think.
I think that's it.
That's what we've been watching this week. That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. You're not getting any more this week at all, because we've got shit to do. You know, God, we can't sit here all day chatting with you.
Well, I could.
Could you, Paul?
Well, no,
why don't you start doing that?
No, I've got things to do. I do need to water the tomatoes again. It's interesting that whenever we have downpours, those grow bags hardly soak up any water whatsoever.
Well, they haven't really got a large enough capture area.
No, but you'd think that the water would drain down from the tomato into the bag, though.
Really? With all those leaves?
Yeah.
I don't think so. The leaves will siphon it away from where the aperture is.
Yeah. So, I need to water. I did feed everything yesterday, so that's really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a quiet weekend for us.
Is it?
Yeah, well,
yeah. Well, it's certainly too warm yesterday to do any more decorating.
Yeah.
Far too warm.
It was far too hot yesterday. Well, yeah, it was. Even our house, which stays pretty cool, it's usually at least 10 degrees. Well, it's usually 10 degrees lower inside when it's hot than it is outside. But yesterday in the evening in this front room, it still got quite warm, didn't it? We were quite relieved once it got to that temperature where you could open the window and let cooler air in again.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. And yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
Off.
No, that's literally it.
Yeah. Off to do other things.
So, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Bye for now.
Yeah.
See you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile.
Are you going through all of those now?
Those are the only ones I know.
Oh, right. Okay. So we'll say goodbye and leave it there. And I can fiddle with my little bit of fabric.
I'm going to actually just cut the ends off that shirt. I don't think you could do with it. That's a strange obsession, Paul.
And it's only about half an hour old as well. Yeah. Okay. See you soon.